Hello guys, Expert64 here, and I'm here today to play some more Collision. So yeah guys, so we've left the Twilight, I got a bunch of trophies here, for now. Did some work, planned out that thing finally. So I've decided that if we want to do anything, sorry I'm eating a bit. If we want to do anything involving the crafting of items, the crafting, like, our crafting, the tier 3 crafting, that's great and all. It's better when it's smaller, but for something like this, it will be easier to use the molecular assembler. And we need glass. No volume. That's weird. No volume. Okay. That is weird. Whatever. Just have to talk more. So let's head down here. I think I got some glass down here. There we go. That's how you get a ton of quartz glass. I'll literally just run over there and make it. Um, I love Chex Mix. It's so good. That's a saltiness with that nice tangy flavor. So good. Okay, so we got quartz glass. We can fill this back in here. Add applied. So we want this molecular assembler. So formation cores, annihilation cores, molecular assembler. Now, to use the molecular assembler, we need interfaces. And we don't have glass. That is a lot of blaze. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of skulls. We got a lot of just everything. Although, we need some more redstone. And I need sand. Oh yeah, I started making some sand because I'm gonna use it for our build. One piece. How many do I need? Two? Yep. Eventually I'll have a furnace that's faster, but right now, this is all that we need. And do this. Alright, not the first time I made an interface, but okay. So, now that we have molecular assembler interface, there are two things we're gonna do. One, let's say interface like this. Actually, let's move it back one. Because we're gonna have to fit a bunch of these. So, for the molecular assembler to work, we need a pattern. Also, I need a wrench, because I'm tired of not having one. Let's see, do I have one in my bag? I do have one in my bag. Yay. Sweet. Okay. So we need a... That was English, that's fine. It was spelling it. We need a blank pattern. So we need one of these. Not too hard to craft. Now, to use these blank patterns, So to make these blank patterns, we need a we need a ME pattern terminal. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we need a lot of these basically. Okay, you, oh, did we really run out of nether quartz? Did we really run out of nether quartz? We really ran out of nether quartz. Oh my gosh. How the heck did I run out of nether quartz? Let's see if we got some nether quartz over there. They can thief. As I said, we need redstone. I think I'm gonna go over and head to Dion's base, see if he has any redstone, since he was talking about how he has farms and stuff. Also, we have Meef. I went back, captured one of those mushrooms, and I started killing it. I got tons of food. Over here, any quartz in here? Yup. And that is the total use of that. Just have tons of nether quartz. We'll eventually have a way of making this. Farming it. And that's something we're going to get to probably next episode. I know it's kind of boring. This will be one of the uses that we use for the crafters. It's just easier with a crafter. So, there we go. PL. So, oh, we need to craft one of these. We can't, because we need one of these. So, there we go. Which we're then going to craft one of these. Which requires one of these. Which requires also a calculation. Okay. So, let's go get myself a calculation. And what else do I need? Engineer. So I need one engineer and one calculation. Got it. This is going to be a lot of stuff that we're probably going to have a lot of these around the base, so it's not going to be that bad once we get more of it. And this will probably keep the same, but eventually we'll just remove the 64 and we'll just have it being pulled out. And I need over here. Calculation, engineer. Yeah, and let's head back. This is going to be a lot of running around. Only problem with this is that I have to run around the whole base. Hoping that eventually I can craft an item that can allow me to teleport inside of my base without having to use like a ton of power. Up. As you saw there, we have 3 of those now, because one of those I moved, and now we have a connection to the, whatchamacallit, we have a connection to me and Dion's shared area. So now we have a blank pattern. Now, first thing that I like to do with blank patterns, just the only reason I crafted one of them, is because I like doing this. Blank pattern, there you go, you've been taught, you have some extra glass, actually, blank, here's the thing about this, so if we do this, we can actually grab it out, I want to do this, click this, click that, and we don't have glass. Okay. We don't need that much glass, and man is that thing slow. We'll probably go downstairs there and I'll split that up off screen. That's the thing though, it uses what you have in the system. So there we go. So we've taught this thing how to make quartz glass and this. So I'm gonna actually just throw this eventually we'll put it over here in the corner and we'll have a bunch of pipes leading to a bunch of these eventually, but for now we're gonna do this. So the colorfulness, we'll just do it like this. It should be okay. So let's throw in the quartz glass and let's throw in the blank pattern. So now, if we come over here to this one, we look up blank. We don't have any blank patterns. So we click that we want some, let's say 20. No crafting CPUs available. This is the other thing that I was forgetting about, which is which is one of the big reasons I have, which is a big reason I want those 64K cells automated for so long. So something that we need to craft to run these is we need a CPU. Because it's kind of, the A system kind of works like a computer, as I've said before, I think. And since it works like a computer, you don't expect it to be able to craft something unless it has to have A, storage to hold it, and B, it has to be able to let's just have you on for a little bit. That should be good. 7. You could be faster, but that's okay. So you need CPUs, which means it's basically the memory that it needs to run the process. Now, and we're going to be using 64Ks because they're good. Now, eventually we'll have the system probably making 64Ks or storing into a drawer like we have eventually, and just storing it into a drawer and just having it being stored there infinitely. ME64K storage component. So we need, let's say we need no CPU. So let's look up CPU. Nope. Let's look up at, so as you see me do a lot in this episode, I hit the @ sign a lot, which means that it's going to only search inside of what I type. Like if there's a mod name, it helps me search inside that mod name. So you want one of these, which means we need one of these. What else needs we need more? Yeah. How much of this episode has been spent running back and forth? 12 minutes, dang. Probably around the 15. Yeah. I think maybe I go visit Dion today. But he's not there, so let's kind of move over here. Let's jump up here. And let's run over. And whoa, glitching out there a bit. Beefsteak, yep. But yeah, got meefs dying now. Crafting units, we'll get a few of these. Let's just get 7. This is how many we have. And then we put these like this, and boom. Next gen crafting. So now that we officially have crafting stuff, let's go one more higher. You can make these really as tall as you want, but you just have to make sure you don't like kind of make them odd, because otherwise they kind of mess up. I'm gonna put 2 of these. So now let's go blank patterns again. So we said we want to craft 20. So first of all, it goes, okay, inside of the system, do I have available the 60 iron ingots, the 60 glowstone, the 16 quartz glass, and 16 Ceres quartz available? And it goes, yes. So I click start. And it crafts it for me. And boom. So while it's crafting that, it's basically just sending the stuff over here, and this is crafting it in there. So now if we come over here and type in blank, we now have a ton of blank patterns. I generally like keeping a stack in here at all times, but as you can see, we're missing some glass, some Certus quartz, and some Certus quartz dust. So, and it shows you this before and won't let you start it unless you have the minerals available. One, then you do have the minerals available, it will actually take them out of the system so that way they can't be stolen from. And if you come in here while it's crafting, you can just go in here and click the cancel button, so that way it doesn't craft. So, now, all that to say, we want to craft cryo-stabilized flux ducts. Don't want to craft these. Well, first of all, we need to craft gelid cryothium stuff, so we need to be able to craft blazing pyrotheum. No, not blazing pyrotheum. Cryo. So, blizz powder is snowball and redstone. This actually works out, since this is actually the first thing that we want. Over here, do this. So, it's saying, so I actually have two things. So there's crafting, and then there's processing patterns. So what we want to do is we want to go snow. I'm going to go search by number of items because that's the best way to search for things. I'm going to say snowballs and 2 redstone, and we also want to put it here. And then we're going to run off to the system that we've created over here, which now has an export as well, which I'm going to explain really quickly. So, one of the things to note is that interfaces, as I've told you, have a funny way of acting kind of like chests. So, down here, I want to throw it in. So, basically what I've set up here, though, is that if I could open that chest, well, here, this is pointing into this chest. So it says, okay, whenever if I have a pattern in me, and I say make this pattern, it's going to shoot all those items into this chest. Well, this pipe has been configured to only let out redstone, and this one only snowballs. So basically, it's going to say, okay, redstone goes in here, snowballs go in here. We get 200, it throws it in, and you're like, where did it go? Well, I have this dropping into, below it, down here, I have this dropping into an interface. Now, when you generally pump something into the interface, it goes up here. And if, let's see, do we have an item I don't care about? Yeah, don't really care about these. If we have an item and it gets dropped in here, it's like, oh, you don't belong there. Let me take you out. Because it doesn't see anything that could be configured. But let's say we wanted an item to be in here. Well, we can do that. We can specify how much we want. And even when we run out, it will still say, oh. And if we take it out, boom, it just reappears. So yeah, there you go. I just refilled my meat on accident, kind of. But there you go. It works basically kind of as with a pulley and an export system in one block. It's very useful for when you have something that you want to be pumped into a system as well, but you don't want to have two output, but you don't want to use up an extra channel as an output. What you generally have to do, you have to worry about an input and an output. By using an interface and a chest, though it requires a little bit more work, you can generally make it so there's only one input and one output, basically making, instead of 2 channels, 1 channel that you have to worry about. And if we come over here, we see that we have it appears over here. Now, we were looking at blizz powder. There you go. So 2 snowballs and 1 redstone create 1 blizz powder. So there we go. Now we have blizz powder, and we've taught the system how to make it. Something else that we want to teach this how to make for the cryo-stabilized flux ducts. This one we don't really need it as much, is niter. Now, niter has a few ways of getting it. Probably what we're going to use is this crusher method with gunpowder. Very cheap, and it requires nothing to do other than a little bit of power. The crusher is not that cheap. Well, it's not that hard to make. And, yeah, not that hard. Totally craft this other than lava and stuff. And as you know, we've been killing creepers for a while. Surprised you don't have more of that. So that will be our niter. Problem is we don't have it right now. But we can get back to that later. Now, the other thing that we need to teach this how to make using this is electrum. Electrum is a very useful material made out of gold and silver. Specifically 1 gold and 1 silver. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that you get the recipe right. So for 2 for every 1, gold, that's aluminum, that's iridium, osmium, ferrous, can reach silver. Yes! Reached it. And I can say, okay, for every 1 gold and for every silver, I get 2 electrum. Now, I'll say, okay, so that's how I craft electrum. Now you might be questioning, why do I want the machine to know how to make these items? That's because the system needs to know how to make it so it can craft it. Now, for these being processing patterns, we can't, we can sure as heck put them in here, but this machine doesn't understand that it's supposed to cook or process these in a certain way. Now, the other one we're going to need is we're going to need hardened glass. Hardened glass, which is 1 obsidian and 1 lead, unless it's in the alloy smelter, and then it's 2. Which I don't really have a problem with. Now, I don't believe have a sag mill. Well, actually, it requires a pulverizer. We don't have one of those. We can get one easily. They're fairly cheap. But I already got a sag mill. Not sag mill. I already got an alloy smelter. So we need is some obsidian. Well, first of all, we need to say that, hey, obsidian powder, 1 obsidian equals basically 4 obsidian powder, which we'll do in a bit when we have some obsidian powder. And then what we would say is that 8 obsidian powder fused with that fused with 1 lead, creates hardened glass. Now, what we're saying, processes, since we can't craft it, what do we put it in? We put them in an interface. Interfaces can, though acting like chess, can read other blocks. They as I've said that they kind of act like chess. But here's the other part. Kind of like how light acts like a mass and energy at the same time. This kind of works the same way, as I said. So we want this to be able to go, hey, we want this to maybe craft electrum. Well, now guess what? If we say make electrum, it's gonna say, okay, stick it in me, and we can stuff, and it will spit into it gold and electrum, and it will begin crafting. Now over here, this one, we want this to be cryostable. We want this to be blizz powder. Boom. Now, if we tell this thing how to craft, we tell this thing we want blizz powder, it will send 2 redstone and 1 snowball to this chest. This chest will be pulled. Also, if we pull it out of this chest via item conduits, put it down here. Snowball will be put in here. Redstone will be put in here. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So, I may want to cut a bit short today. I'll get some more of those machines ready. But basically, all this is just a bunch of pattern making. It really does make this easy using AE. And once we taught this machine how to make hardened glass and electrum, we can teach it how to make the flux ducts. We can teach it how to make redstone energy flux ducts. which is 100 glass and 1 electrum. Makes 6. Then what we would say is, hey, one of these plus 2 redstone equals redstone energy flux, which we would then put into the interface back here. Then we'd say, hey, one of these plus 400 glass and 4 electrum extra more, right? This. And we'd say this plus this plus 2 plus how much shell does it create? Plus 2 cryothium dust makes one of these. And then bam, we have it. It has been processed, and we have as many cryostabilized flux ducts as we want. Now, off camera, I'm going to probably make the crusher and a few other items. Now, and doing all this stuff is fairly easy. Next episode, we need to get to work on some redstone farming. I'm going to go check out Dion's base, and begin. When I go do next episode, I'm going to be at Dion's base. And Wiggy, I'm going to be looking, see if he's got some redstones. Hopefully better than mine. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you all next time. I've been Expert64. Bye!